be shoulders and a little bit of back. So we're going to start by using a band. How tight you get the band is going to determine how hard it is. So if you sit further away, it's going to be harder to do, and if you sit closer, it's going to make it easier. So what I've done is I wrapped this band on both sides of a doorway. You're going to start with your hands facing together, sitting up with your arms straight, and from there you're going to pull straight back, using these back muscles here as you squeeze back, and then resist forward. So really important, keep your tummy and tush tight. As you pull, you breathe out, and as you resist back, don't let it come flying back. Resist and use the muscles coming back to keep it going. So next exercise is going to be a side bend. You're going to adjust that side bend by putting your foot on the band where it feels like there's a stretch. So let's set this side down and lean over a bit so that when you grab this, there's a stretch when you stand up. So from here, you're going to tighten your tush and tummy. You're going to breathe out as you squeeze across to the other side and then set it back down. To make it tighter, you lean over further, bring that foot down in a little bit closer, or walk your hand down the band, either one, and then stand up again, okay? What you don't want to do is as you come over, you don't want to collapse the leg. So watch as she pushes, as she lets that leg collapse, it allows her body weight to pull her over. You want to keep your legs nice and straight so that your waist does all of the action. Do 10 on one side, 10 on the other, back to your mid-row again until you've done 3 sets, okay? Your next exercise is going to be a bent over, it's a lat pull, which is going to work all those muscles coming down your back. 2 of these might be too tight, so if I simply make it a little lopsided with my band and string my band through the other one, then I can use one side of that. She's going to come all the way over flat. You want a flat back, you want flat head. Everything from your tush to your head needs to be absolutely straight. She's going to tighten her core, breathe out as she pulls straight down, and resist it back. So it's just like the other one, only instead of pulling to your mid-body, you're pulling straight down towards your hip, okay? So 10 on one side, 10 on the other. Next one is going to be shoulders. So with this particular one, we're going to do side shoulder raises. You're going to start with it under your foot. And again, you're going to need a lot more slack because you want to be able to get to here with a little bit of pressure. So quite a bit more slack, drop the other side. Okay, so from there, you may be starting here. Your raise is going to be right here, okay? And if that's too easy for you to do, go ahead and make it a little bit tighter and then raise from there. So if you have any shoulder injury, first of all, we never go through pain. So if you have a shoulder injury and you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But in order to deal with the shoulder injury, we're going to make it a lot shorter. And you're only going to use like a 2-inch range of motion. So go ahead and stand up. So she's only going to come out this far for a shoulder injury. She's still using that shoulder. She's just not grinding all the way through the joint and putting it back down. So keep it in a very small range of motion so that you don't get high enough to get yourself into pain. Back and forth doing those lat pulls and these until you have 3 sets, okay? The next one is going to be a high row. So a high row, we're going to unwrap this again. You set yourself up just like you did for your mid-row. Okay? Only this time, instead of your hands being facing, you're going to turn your hands down and you're going to pull your elbows back by your shoulders as though your nose were coming to the edge of the door and release. Okay? So instead of using these lower muscles, we're using all of these muscles up in this direction, squeezing back and resisting forward. Tighten your tummy, breathe out as you pull, and resist back. So with that one, we're going to do the shoulders again, but we're going to use the front of our shoulders. So you're going to set up exactly like we did for the sides, only you're going to be coming up in the front. You're going to stand on one side, lots of range of motion, so that this is only as tight as you feel like it's working your shoulders, but not putting you in any pain. So that's the move. Again, if you have an injury, you're going to start start it a bit tighter, and you're going to start down here, and your range of motion is just going to be this little teeny range of motion, so that you don't grind all the way through that joint and get into shoulder pain. Okay? So 3 sets of those, sets of 10 until those are done, and then we're off to our last one. Biceps, you can stand on your band and do it with both hands at once, but a lot of times your band is the wrong length to do a good bicep. So one thing you can do is stand on it so that one side is tight. From there you're going to roll up and you're going to resist it back. Now when you roll up, you're going to run into your body up here, muscle or arm. Don't bring this elbow up so that you destabilize the elbow. You're keeping your elbow right there, bringing it straight down. This part of your arm doesn't move, only the lower part. Okay? So, and you can make that tighter or less tight. Do both sides to get that bicep. And the final one is going to be the rear shoulders. So the way we're going to get those rear shoulders is you can lean over, and as she brings it out to the side, that will be the rear shoulder. So standing on this band, okay, and you're going to have to give yourself some room. Give yourself some room. There you go. So from there, as you press up, even if it's a fairly small move, it's up and slightly back. You're going to catch those rear shoulders. And then again, if you have an injury, tighten that up down to the bottom. Hands straight down. Okay? So if you have an injury, you're only coming this far. Little teeny movement so that you don't grind through that shoulder. Okay? Now, if you need to sit in a chair because it's hard to be standing over on your foot, you can do this by standing on your foot and leaning over a chair. You simply lean your body over your knees, okay? And again, you're bringing your hand out to the side. And you may not be able to bring it up very high. You can loosen that band to bring it up higher, or if you have a shoulder injury, again, keep it down here in this low range. So back and forth, 3 sets until you're done, and you are done with shoulders and back today. Have a great day.